Yeah, good morning, all. Little stealth guitar here. We are getting ready to work on this git fiddle. I already pre-tested that reglued neck. And it seems to be stuck on there now. So we're gonna go with it. Put my apron on here. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna start sanding on this. And here in a little while, once I get it sanded down and we'll put some more of this wood hardener on there. Yeah, my helper's in the house right at the moment, so I highly recommend this stuff. You've heard me say that before. Highly recommend it for any kind of spalted wood that you're using. It'll just help harden things up for you, make things work a little bit better. And yeah, it's gonna be good. So anyway, I'm gonna start off by using my orbital sander. And we're gonna start working on it. Let's see where we get today. The weather has really made a nice turn for the better out here. Really nice out here right now. I still have to have my fan on, but it's really nice out here in the shop today. So maybe I'll spend a little extra time out here today. I'd like to get this guitar to a point where we can get the Minwax tongue oil finish put on it and get her up and playing. So here we go. Alright. Always important to try to get all your imperfections out before you do any finish, putting on any kind of finish on it. I need to go in and get my control cover. I'll tell you what, it's tough getting old. Anyway, so I took that orbital sander and sanded on the neck some here, so now I'm going to finalize it here with my sanding sponge and 80 grit sandpaper. If you remember in the last episode, I nicked the neck with my grinder over there. Like one of my buddies said, he said, the neck was too fat anyway. I've known Dane Nichols of Jonah Guitars for a long, long time now. Well over, probably right around that 20-year mark or more. He's helped me a lot in the past helped me a lot. He's a carpenter by trade. He was a cabinet maker, and he knows a little bit more about woodworking than I do. So he's helped me a lot over the years with different things. have always seen eye to eye on a lot of things, but he does his thing, I do mine, so that doesn't mean we don't help each other out once in a while. He's bought some of my stuff off of me, and tools, woodworking tools, and has given me some of it back, and just been dealing back and forth for a long time. He's a great guy, really is. Let me make sure that's on the camera. Well, my wife finally came out here to help me out.
Finally. Chores, come on.
Yeah, she had her weekly household chores like doing laundry and stuff.
I'm gonna make him barbecue. Haha.
Yeah, we're gonna barbecue some hamburgers later on, hopefully. Sanding, 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 always sanding. Alright, so what I've done here is the heel of the neck right here. I've sanded it off smooth instead of leaving that sharp line on it there. I just think it looks better, feels better on the hand. This is the part that takes a while for me. I like this area to feel good, as best I can get it to feel. And it seems like every guitar I make, this area always turns out a little bit different than last time. All right, I'm gonna turn this off for a while. I gotta go in and get that control cover, get my CA glue so I can fill in these holes, and I'll be right back. All right, here we go again. Had to go in and got my control cover. Let's see, it's on there now. Also went and got my CA glue. That's what I use at Stick Fast. This is thin set here, and I use the activator. If you're ever in need of some sawdust for your projects and you use one of these orbital sanders, what I do is I pop this off here. Easier said than done. There we go. Pop that off, and usually I have enough sawdust in there. I'd say that dust collector was just a little full, wasn't it? It looks a little gray, so I'm trying to figure out what the heck did I sand on it. We're gonna go ahead and use it. It ain't gonna hurt it. And so what I do is I take some of this CA glue. So I just put a little bit of that CA glue in that hole. Take some of this powder. Just throw that in there and smush that down in there. Push that down in there, and I'm going to take some of that. It just takes on there, and it'll dry it right up. A little more there, just another hole right here. Put some of that powder on there. Tap it down in there the best you can. So I've got another one right there.
Yeah, I have a reamer, but it's in the house. I don't feel like going back in there and getting it.
If you'll focus that on what I'm doing here.
What I'm trying to do is just carve that out a little bit right there where that, if you remember right on the one episode where when I was drilling through here, it tore out some of my wood here and I had to glue it back in. So I'm just using this razor knife. Help carve that back out a little bit. And probably before I put the pot in there, I'll probably take the reamer and ream this out some more. Opens that back up. And I'll take some of the sandpaper, go back over some areas here where I just used that CA glue. The idea was I got these bunch of little strips and I just put sandpaper on and come to the lengths I need them, and they come in so handy for doing the details on guitars or whatever you're working on, furniture. Well, anything exciting out there in your guys' world today? Here's an interesting question I've seen going around on YouTube late is when do you know it's time to retire from music? Playing guitar, playing drums, any of it, keyboards. When do you know it's time to stop? I've answered a couple of them on some of those forums. What I feel, I can only speak as an individual and going through some of the issues that I'm going through. I've told you before I have Alzheimer's, and it's a daily struggle for me. I am not half the person I used to be even several years ago. And my thought processes are taking me longer and longer to decide what to do sometimes. My wife and I were talking about this guitar this morning. She was kind of surprised I even tried to do another build. And I told her this morning I was surprised I did it too. I know I've said this so many times, this will probably be my last one I do from scratch. I won't say I won't tinker with guitars or buy another kit guitar. Who knows what's in the future. But anyway, as far as playing, I just recently started playing at this church that we started attending. And they were in need of a guitar player. They asked me if I could come and try out for them. And I said, sure. So I did, and they put me on the team. And but I'm struggling. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm flat out struggling. I'm having a lot of thoughts going through my head. Maybe it's just time to stop. And I just wanted to play one more time with people other than sitting in my room playing to AI music. And
With his greatest fan listening.
with my greatest fan listening, my wife. And she's always been supportive of me and my music and cars and guitars, my hobbies, in other words. But I'm going to give it a few more months here on this new worship team at church, new to me, and see how things go. But I am struggling really hard, and things that used to come to me so easily now come to me very hard. Stuff that I keep telling myself, you know this. I don't know it as well as I once did, I'll tell you that. So what do you guys think? What do you think? Where do you think you should stop? When would you stop? I read some of the comments on some of those forums, and a couple of them, the guys out there say, oh, I'll die with that guitar in my hands. Well, that might be well and just in some ways. And but please don't do it when I'm watching you. I'd hate to be at a concert somewhere and have somebody keel over on stage because of their age, or any other way too. I don't know. But so what do you guys think? You think you should quit when you hit 70, or when do you make that decision? You know, just like me and my woodworking, when do I stop? You know, I have pretty much put everything on hold, woodworking wise. Because of my Alzheimer's.
And the weather.
And the weather and a lot of other things. The weather really plays a big part in Alzheimer's or dementia, whatever people have. Weather does play a big part. I don't care what anybody says. I know from my own experience. And when the pressure in the air changes, it changes the pressure in your head, and it messes with that stuff in your head. And it's very, very frustrating. And it's not just the mental stuff that you go through, it's also the physical stuff. After 1 o'clock, usually in the afternoon, I'm digressing really bad. And I pretty much become a vegetable for most of the night until things kind of change for me. Then late night, and I start to feel better. But even that's taken longer and longer and longer to happen. And again, I just want you all out there to be aware about what Alzheimer's does, at least for this person. And eventually I will get to that point where I forget everything and can't remember nothing. I think what scares me the most is I've had some friends of mine get Alzheimer's, and they get into a certain stage where you just zombie out. And what I mean by that is your brain pretty much quits functioning, and you just don't, you live behind your eyeballs, and you don't talk anymore. You can't move, you can't express your feelings about anything. You just become a vegetable, and so to speak. And I think that's what scares me the most happening to me. There's days, even right now, where I don't even feel like I'm on this planet. A lot of people tell me, oh, you don't sound like you've got Alzheimer's. Well, until you live with me, you won't know I have it. Yeah, my wife knows when it's hitting me hard, because she's with me 24/7. That's why she's out in the shop with me most of the time, because it can hit me all at once. And it worries her. And so one thing I don't want to do is worry people. Alright, enough of that stuff. So, I'm sanding away here at those spots that I've fixed with the CA glue. And I know some of you out there don't like the shape of my guitar, but you know, it's my design and I like it, and that's all that matters. But anybody can build a Telly, anybody can build a Les Paul. Just like when I was building 50s custom cars and stuff like that, people argue with me about that. And the purists was always on me, so I just turned it back around on them and would always tell them, well, you know what? Anybody can buy a part and bolt it on. Anybody can. And but it takes an artist to alter a body panel. And I can alter anything when it came to cars. And I could chop the tops and chop them, section them, whatever you want it done. I could do it. I used to be able to do it, and I really missed that era of my life. I had a lot of fun. I lived out in California. I was pretty much raised in California. I knew everybody. I knew where everything was at. I could find stuff that other people couldn't find. People would hire me to find stuff for them. And if I didn't have it, I knew where to get it. And most of the time I would have the part. And I'd have at least a dozen guys a day come over to my house wanting stuff. Anywhere from a steering wheel horn button all the way to full-blown cars. If I didn't have it on my property, I knew where I could go get it. So then all that came to an end. I won't be done all that, but that's back in the day when they were having a lot of drive-by shooting problems, and my neighborhood was one of them. So I had to quit it for the safety of my family. So anyway, there it is. I think we're about ready to start putting that hardener on here. I think that pine looks pretty good. How about you? And the spalted maple or spalted poplar top looks fantastic. Oops. The other time it stays stuck, right?
Of course.
So here we go. We're going to put some of that hardener on here. Once it's on here, I'll have to let this dry for 24 hours. And we'll come back out tomorrow, hopefully. And I'll do a light sanding on it. And then we'll start applying the tongue oil finish. So 3 or 4 days, 5 days from now, the tongue oil finish will be all done. That includes color sanding and buffing it out and all that stuff. And then we'll start putting her together for the first time. Again, thank you to all you subscribers out there. You guys brought me up to 200 mark. And that's been pretty exciting. I know we've talked about this on here before. You guys need to get your wives involved. I will say this, I thought it was pretty neat
Ted over at Ted Talks Guitars and Life got his granddaughter involved in making a guitar. I thought that was pretty cool. And nothing like teaching your grandkids some things. You know, that way she got to see how a guitar goes together, and got to put her own twist on it and all kinds of neat little things she did. She's a left-handed guitar player. So some people on Ted's channel had donated some money for the cause, and so he went out and bought her a left-handed kit. And so they wound up building this guitar for her. I thought it was pretty cool. Almost as cool as my wife putting that Leo James guitar together. We had so much fun doing that. It almost made me want to buy another one, just do it all over again.
Some fun.
Oh, I might as well mention this while I'm doing this. I have another Les Paul Standard Honeyburst that I did a video on some time ago, and I told the backstory on it and stuff. If you want to check out that video. And well, anyway, I got to play it at church for the very first time it's ever been played in a band setting, and man, oh man, did that guitar ever sing. I was totally impressed with that guitar. And so now it's one of my other top favorite guitars. They're all my top favorite. And really liked it. It really just sang really good that day at practice. I was really pleased with it. It really tickled me that it played so well. Sounded so well. Even a couple of people at church the other night commented how good it sounded. Alrighty, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to go hang this up on the rack, let it dry for a little while, and then I'll take it in the house, let it dry all night, and we'll come back out tomorrow and we'll start applying the tongue oil finish on it. That's kind of what it's going to look like. Alrighty, this is Stealth Guitar and his wife saying see ya.
Bye.